One of the ultimate bubblegum records. Gonna go out with a bang tonight, like you wouldn't believe. Coming in at number 89 on Billboard's Hot 100, October 5th, 1968. Case Nance, Kate's Singing Orchestral Circus with Quick Joey Small, Run Joey Run, featuring the lead vocals of Joey Levine of the Ohio Express. This was a supergroup, but let's go back a little bit. Jerry Casenets and Jeff Cates, big bubblegum producers in the late 60s. They made bubblegum happen. You got to remember those names because they made it happen in the late 60s. If it wasn't for them, there would be no Ohio Express, no 1910 Fruit Gum Company. They were the concoctions of Jerry Cates, Jerry Casenets, and Jeff Cates. The sunny exuberance, the escapism of songs like Chewy Chewy, 123 Red Light, as opposed to the harder psychedelic protest records that were swarming in right and left, the psychedelic records of the late 60s. It was a counterpoint. It filled a niche in the market, and they did it successfully. They met at the University of Arizona, Jerry Casenets and Jeff Cates. Please remember those names. Remember it for the rest of your life. Whether you hate bubblegum or love it, remember those two names. Big producers. They met at the University of Arizona. Their first production was SOS by Christine Cooper. That was off the Cameo Parkway label. It bombed, but it brought them to the attention of Niels Bogart. Niels Bogart was impressed with their production style. When Niels Bogart formed Buddha Records, he brought in Jeff Cates and Jerry Casenets. As a matter of fact, those two guys, they brought in a record they already produced, a record called Yummy Yummy. It was done by a guy named Joey Levine, but they put it out under the moniker Ohio Express. And they formed their own production company, Super K Productions, under the Buddha Record umbrella. And there you have it. You got all these obscure bubblegum groups, but the big ones are 1910 Fruit Gum Company and the Ohio Express. The Casenets Kates Singing Orchestral Circus was a supergroup, a bubblegum supergroup. It's like these rock and roll supergroups, but this was a bubblegum supergroup that is forgotten. And I've got to bring this back. I've got to bring this to your attention right now. Run, Joey, Run, Quick, Joey, Small, the name of the song, combination of the 1910 Fruit Gum Company, the Music Explosion, the Shadows of Night, which were just signed to the Super K production in 1968, and there was also the Ohio Express in this supergroup. But I didn't write this down. I wish I did. If I understand this correctly, these groups were not real. These were basically studio musicians or interchangeable musicians. You see, Jerry Casenets and Jeff Cates, they played fast and loose with the proper credits. There were aliases all over the place. You didn't know what was what. And here's the thing about the late 60s. One thing to understand about the late 60s, a lot of these studio bands, studio musicians, but when a song became big, the producers had to assemble a live band to back up the lead singer so they could go out on tour. And people would think, oh, that's the real band. That's the Ohio Express. Well, yes and no. Two albums by the Casenets Kate Singing Castro Circus. This second album from whence Quick Joey Small came from that album. It was basically Joey Levine singing all the way through up the Ohio Express. That's my understanding. Joey Levine and studio musicians, crack musicians, playing background. So I told you two contradictory things. A supergroup of the 1910 Fruit Gum Company, Ohio Express, Shadows of Night, and yet they weren't real per se. It was just studio musicians. Joey Levine, one of the prime bubblegum singers in the late 60s. I'm sorry I confused you. I'm a little confused myself. But the bottom line is this. Ohio Express, 1910 Fruit Gum Company, 123 Red Light, Simon Says, Crazy Elephants, Gimme, Gimme, Gimme Good Lovin', I believe was the name of the song. All those roads lead to the production team, to the production wizardry, helmed by Jerry Caseness and Jeff Cates. God, I love the beat to this record, the way it starts. Quick Joey Small Run, Joey Run peaked at number 25 around the summer of 1968. On its way out of Billboard's Hot 100 at number 89, the week of October 3rd or 5th, 1968.